Okay, so we are live streaming to our Facebook page, and I'm going to try and pull it up over here so I can see it as well. There we are. Okay. Well, we're going to give people just a minute to join in and see what kind of questions we get from the audience. But in the meantime, I wanted to welcome everyone here. We are going to record this session so that if you missed out tonight, you can watch it later, and we'll post the link to our YouTube page at the end of the meeting. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Megan Parr, and I am the District 4-H specialist. And so I have the pleasure of working with our district council and doing a whole host of things with these students. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to reach out to new audiences and engage our 4-H members in new and fun ways. And so this is one of the new and fun ways that we want to engage our members, is by doing some live events with the officers to talk about all kinds of different topics. And so this first topic is related to our ambassador program that we have through Texas 4-H. As many of you know, we have a whole host of ambassador programs that you can get involved with. Those being livestock ambassadors, water ambassadors, fashion and interior design, STEM, photography, Healthy Texas Youth Ambassadors. Am I missing any? Water ambassadors, I think I said that one.
Yeah. Did you say fashion and interior design?
Yep. So I think
did you say photography ambassadors?
Equine ambassadors. I forgot about equine. Yep. And shooting sports ambassadors. And so there is an ambassador group for all of our projects, mostly. And so we want to make sure that you all have the information that you need to join in on some of those ambassador programs. And so tonight we have 3 council officers with us that are going to talk about the various roles that they hold in some of those ambassador programs. And each one of them is a different ambassador. And so they're going to talk about those different ambassador programs. So with that, why don't you ladies go ahead and introduce yourself? And when you introduce yourself, tell me who you are, what office you hold in district council, what county you're from, what type of ambassador you are, and how long you have been an ambassador. Kat, why don't you start?
All right, well, good evening, everybody. My name is Katerina Canales, and I'm from Bell County. I am a District 8 Vice Chairman this year, and I also serve as a Healthy Texas Youth Ambassador, and this is my 3rd year in the Ambassador Program.
Awesome. Kirsten, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, my name is Kirsten Hazelmeyer, and I am from Williamson County. I am one of the District 8 Vice Chairman this year, and I've been a livestock ambassador for 3 years.
And Sarah, tell us about yourself.
Well, hi, I'm Sarah Wood. I am also one of your Vice Chairman on District 8 Council. I hold 4 different ambassador positions. I'm a state photography ambassador, a Healthy Texas Youth Ambassador, photography, Healthy Texas Youth, water ambassador, and a Bell County ambassador.
Very cool. Awesome.
Oh,
so we would love to hear from all of you guys as we go through tonight. If you have questions for these ladies, I'm sorry, my words are running together. If you have questions for these ladies, drop them in the comments below, and we'll ask them at the end of our little session tonight. So we have some questions. I have some questions to ask these fine folks tonight, and to just give you all the information about the ambassador program. So we're going to start off with, what is your favorite part of being an ambassador? Who wants to answer first? Go, Kirsten.
Okay, so actually, probably the reason I joined the Livestock Ambassador program is I really, really wanted to work the ring at major shows. And this year with COVID, since we had limited numbers in the barn, I actually had the opportunity to work the ring at Heart of Texas and the State Fair United show, the Fort Worth Replacement Show, and in Austin. And so I really love that because I'm really passionate about cattle and I love getting to see all the cattle walk in the ring. And the other part I really love is I run the Williamson County Special Edition, and I wouldn't have had the skill set to do that without livestock ambassadors. So every year I bring classes of special education from all over my county to the livestock show to interact with animals and learn all about agriculture. And that's staffed with other livestock ambassadors and members of District 8. And that's definitely my two favorite parts of being a livestock ambassador.
Sarah, tell us about your favorite part of being an ambassador.
Well, for me, honestly, the part I like about being any of the ambassadors really is getting to learn things that I wouldn't have even thought of before, and definitely getting to meet the new people, because these are statewide people, and honestly, I know people that are from the Panhandle that I probably never would have met before.
Awesome. Okay, Kat, what is your favorite part of being an ambassador?
My favorite part about being a Healthy Texas Youth Ambassador is being able to educate others about what I'm really passionate about. I want to go into the medical field in the future, and so it's kind of giving me that stepping stone to be able to educate others about things that I will learn in the future and will continue to do, and it's really helping me in that way.
Awesome, very cool. Okay, so let's start with the application process. The application process is a little bit different for each of our ambassador programs. So, Kat, I think yours is coming up pretty quickly, the Healthy Texas Youth Ambassadors. Can you tell us a little bit about what that application process is like?
So our application process is actually pretty simple compared to, I know, some of the other ambassador groups. Our application is fully online this year, and it is due May 1st. It wants you to highlight your involvement in the food and nutrition projects and just certain things that you have done through 4-H or even outside of 4-H that center around the topics of health. And most people think of health and they think of healthy eating and physical activity, but it also includes other topics like teen safe driving and mental and social health. And so those are also things and topics that we also like to see people passionate about. And so when you highlight those on your application, it looks really well. We are chosen based on your applications, and I believe when you turn those into your county extension office, then it goes through the whole process from Dr. Julie Gardner, who is our advisor. They look through all the applications and kind of choose who they think would make the best fit as an ambassador. And then after that, you are set. You attend your regional trainings, and then you're set to go as an ambassador.
Awesome. Kirsten, what is the process for livestock ambassadors?
So for the livestock ambassador program as a base, so the first step of training, it's a series of essay questions that talk about your experience within the livestock industry and the species you show, and kind of delve into how passionate you are about advocating and not just how much you know about livestock. And then with that, you have to submit a short video. I don't remember if it's 2 or 3 minutes, but it's not like super long. That's about your experience and why you think you should be a livestock ambassador. And I did apply once before I got in, and the video was always my favorite part because it isn't as scripted as the written essays. So it kind of gives you an opportunity to really show them who you are. And from that, I believe there's 3 livestock ambassador trainings at West Texas A&M, Kingsville A&M, and the A&M campus, and 25 are selected to go to each camp. So I went to the A&M short course, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm hoping to return to West Texas or Kingsville as a mentor this year. And then after your first year, the top performing ambassadors, well, everybody applies, and the top performing ambassadors are accepted into Advocacy Academy, where we have the opportunity to either go to the Capitol, or mine was virtual, and meet with different leaders in ag, either in Texas when it's at the Capitol, or for us, because it was virtual, we actually had people from all over the country come to talk to us about agriculture with focus on advocating and policy. And finally, there's trips and all sorts of fun stuff in between. So the application for advocacy is really similar to the application for the Livestock Ambassador Program. And I think that they're not super hard to fill out and definitely well worth it.
Very cool. Sarah, tell us about the application process for any one of your ambassador programs.
Well, let's start with photography ambassador. That one's pretty easy to get into. There's not much of a competition type to get in. You just submit an application, let them know that you're interested, and they'll get back with you. And like I said, we accept most everybody. But we actually are coming up with a little survey when you sign up to let us know how experienced you are with photography. And with water ambassador, that one is a little more smaller. So we can only accept 30 people each year or new people. So there's 4 different tiers. And if you're a tier 1, so you've already signed up, you are interested and get enough hours. But once you sign up to be a first year water ambassador, they'll have to view your application and then you'll get notified if you're accepted or not. There is a short little essay you have to add with it, but it doesn't take much. Oh, and then Kat already mentioned about Healthy Texas Youth Ambassadors. So
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's talk about time commitments. We know that as leaders, not just in your counties, but also at the district level, you're already committed to a lot of different things. What do these ambassador programs look like in terms of time commitment for you? Kirsten, why don't you start us off?
The nice thing about livestock ambassadors is it's very self-determined how much you want to put into it. The minimum to continue as an ambassador is 40 hours a year, which I thought was going to be very overwhelming, but was not at all. So in order to do the higher level things like advocacy, the capital trip, or the international or West Coast trip, you do have to have a couple more hours. So in the 2019-2020 year, I had well over 200 hours, and that came from working rings at shows and planning and putting on my special edition event and taking any opportunity I could to work in the livestock community. And this year it's been a lot harder to find opportunities. I couldn't do my special edition event because it just really wasn't safe. But I still was able to get well over 100 hours so far, and my goal is to get to 200 again. So that's really nice. You kind of get to determine how many hours and set goals for yourself. And the more you get, the more opportunities will open up for you.
Okay, Sarah, tell us about a time commitment for, just pick one. Let's do water ambassadors. What's the time commitment for water ambassadors?
well, for water ambassadors, honestly, something I wish I knew going into it was that it does take quite a bit of time, but that's only because that they have so many opportunities for you to get hours. So they're trying to give you as many learning opportunities and leadership opportunities that they can. So, oh gosh, we have so many Zoom calls and group projects, but that's honestly one of the things that I love about it.
Awesome, thank you. Kat, how much of a time commitment is Healthy Texas Youth Ambassadors?
So really, like Kirsten said, it's a lot of how much you want to put into it. You have to have a minimum of 40 hours to continue on in the program. But because our topics that we cover are so unique per section of Texas you're in, that you work a lot with your county agent to set programs, to not just plan those, but also carry them out. And we normally have a monthly kind of training to go along with that. And that normally lasts about an hour. And so there's ways to get your hours through that, but then also when you're planning your programs and you're going out and educating others, you're getting your hours through there. And really, it's just how much you want to put into it. This year it's been a little bit harder not being able to go out as much, but now we turn towards social media a lot and kind of educating others through that platform. And so even then we're still getting hours and we're still making a commitment to the program.
Nice. I like it. Okay, so because there are so many choices of ambassador groups to be a part of, what made you decide to choose the particular ambassador group that you chose? Sarah, you start.
Well, one of the things that I was looking for is more opportunities to widen my skills that I've learned. That, and I wanted to be able to teach people about water. So many people don't understand our problems and our water systems in Texas. So that's some of the things that I get to learn that honestly I didn't know about before now. But I chose it because it gave me so many opportunities to teach about it. So I got to travel all around Texas, go to many clubs, communities, just to teach about water, something so simple, but something so beneficial, and it's a big need.
Awesome. Kat, what made you choose Healthy Texas Youth Ambassadors?
So I kind of have two reasons. So my main one is that I want to go into the medical field in the future, and I thought that was a great way to kind of get some different leadership experiences before heading off to college and then eventually medical school. And so it would have given me the opportunity to learn things that maybe not everybody else has. And then my other reason is that I am heavily involved in the Food and Nutrition Project and Health and Personal Safety projects. And so this program gave me the opportunity to widen my leadership opportunities and being able to take that step further in order to educate others.
Awesome. Thanks. Kirsten, what made you choose Livestock Ambassadors?
So my very first surge, there was a district officer that I really looked up to, and they were on state council and a livestock ambassador. And so I wanted to be on state council and a livestock ambassador. And that first year I did apply, and I really didn't know a lot about the program, and I didn't have as much experience as I had the second year I applied. And through that experience, and then the next year watching ambassadors at shows and other opportunities, I figured out that that was going to be a really good outlet to do something I'm really passionate about, which is educating people about agriculture and getting unique opportunities to volunteer. So Livestock Ambassadors was a pretty clear choice for me because that's the path I want to follow. I want to go to college to do livestock judging and then pursue something in genetics with show cattle. So Livestock Ambassadors was a very obvious thing that I felt like I absolutely had to do, and I would do anything to participate in. And I'm really glad that I met that person and that I was inspired to do that.
Very cool. I like it. Okay. Let's go down to this next one. And what is something you wish you would have known before you applied? Kat, you want to start us out?
Sure. So I wish I'd known how much of an impact I would actually have on people. We go and we give these programs out and to all different age groups, but really the biggest impact I've seen is on my own peers, because you can have adults who go and who talk about these big, heavy topics like teen safe driving and vaping and mental health. But when you have kids who are not necessarily wanting to pay attention to that, they aren't going to listen and learn and absorb as much. But when I go out and I'm their same age and they see me actually being passionate about this and wanting to help them, they are understanding how big and how important it is. And so just kind of having that different perspective compared to some of the adults we work with is not something I would have thought I would have had. And I think it would have been very interesting to see and to know before I applied.
Cool. Kirsten, what is something you wish you would have known before you applied?
Well, something I'm glad I knew is everyone was telling me that I probably wasn't going to get in when I applied after 8th grade. And that was very nice to hear because it was a lot less hard when I did get that email that was like, oh, come apply back again next year when you have a little more experience. And then something I didn't know is the relationships I would make. I wasn't not expecting to make relationships. I just wasn't expecting them to be the type of ones I did. So in Livestock Ambassador, I've met people that I've worked for and worked with and who have hauled to shows with us and then I bought cattle from, but also through programs like advocacy, where we get to meet people who are leaders in the state of Texas and in our country in agriculture. I've met a lot of people who I really look up to and have continued to keep track of. And that has been really valuable and something I was completely not expecting.
Sarah, what's something you wish you would have known?
For me, there's kind of two things. One, the amount of time and effort it would have, or it's going to take to fulfill my duties as a state water ambassador. That, and honestly, the people I met, because if I knew that I was going to meet all these great friends, I would have gone sooner.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, my final question, and this is kind of a big one, okay? What is the best piece of advice that you can give someone who is getting ready to apply to be an ambassador? Kirsten, why don't you start us with that one?
My biggest piece of advice, and I know I've said like 14 times that I didn't get in my first year, but that was a really big deal to me, is that growth between my first and my second application. So my biggest piece of advice would definitely be take whatever criticism they give you when you apply or when you get in and you're in camp. The twins and Dr. Zanellini and all of the professors you'll have the opportunity to interact with are really important and really smart people, and they know what they're talking about because they've had hundreds of kids come to those programs who've achieved really great things. So when my first application said that I didn't have enough experience in this field, I went and got that experience, and it is still incredibly valuable to me. And all of the constructive criticism we got in training and in advocacy about the way we speak to people and we do media interviews and we explain more controversial topics in agriculture is something that I will probably utilize for the rest of my life. So any constructive criticism or advice they give you, just write it down, soak it up, and implement it because it is amazing.
Awesome. Sarah, real fast, tell us what the biggest piece of advice that you would give someone.
So for me, I would say don't be afraid to try things. So water ambassador, which is natural resources, was never my strong suit. And it was not necessarily something I'm very passionate about, but it's definitely something I don't regret whatsoever joining. So I didn't know anything about it when I went to go join, but now I've learned so much about Texas waters that I probably never would have known before. So don't be afraid to get out there and join different things.
Awesome. Thank you. And Kat, what was the best piece of advice that you could give someone that is getting ready to apply?
Oh, like Sarah said, don't be afraid to apply. Don't be afraid to try new things. But then also, like, you don't realize how much of an impact you have on people and how much of an impact this program and other people will have on you. So be prepared for that and don't be afraid to have that impact.
Nice. I like it. Well, guys, I think that this was a fun little pop-in to talk about our ambassador programs and to also remind our students that they can be involved in more than one thing. You know, all of you serve at your local level, your county level, the district level, and now you also serve at the state level. And I think that is a really cool thing showcase to our fellow 4-H members. And so with that, I didn't see any extra questions come through on the comments, but if you do have a question that you want to ask of one of these young ladies or of me, please feel free to reach out to us on any of our social media pages, on Instagram or Facebook or any of those. We're happy to connect with you there and to answer any questions that you might have. Again, this session has been recorded, and we will upload it to YouTube and probably share that link first thing tomorrow. So thank you all for joining in with us, and thanks guys for all of your great information and all the great advice that you gave tonight. So with that, we say thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all next month with a new topic.